Hello my fellow designers, this is Shrigan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to look at what is UI and UX design. There's a lot of confusion out there about what UI and UX is, and I know you have your own opinion too. Let me know what you think UI and UX design is in the comments. Alright, so let's dive in for today's video. So first off, UI is user interface design and UX design is user experience design. I want us to look at posts on Instagram. I made this post some time back, where I asked 4 of my mentors on Instagram what they think UI and UX is, or the difference between UI and UX design. So let's start. So we have Mike, we have Martina, we have UI UX Graham, and we have Boro. So Mike says UI is the bridge that brings us to our desired destination, and UX is the feeling and satisfaction the user experiences through the journey to his destination. UI is focused on the product, UX is focused on the users and solving their problems in the most easy to use way, in a very simple explanation. Martina says UI is about making a product beautiful and interactive. This includes different screens, buttons, etc. This etc. here will be shapes, lines, colors, icons, all these things come together to form your UI. UX is all about making a product functional and useful. I personally think that if you want to become a good designer, you need to learn both. Yes, this is, you can argue about this. There are people that are focused on just UX, there are people that are focused on just UI, and that's the visual part, and there are people that do the both, but then nothing changes anyways. UI UX Graham says, look around the room you are sitting in. The furniture arranged in the room is the UI. User experience is the comfort and coziness you feel while sitting in that room. The effects of the furniture and the stuff in your room, that is the UI, affects your experience. So the effects of the furniture, so let's take a mobile application for example. Let me just open any one of these designs. The effects of this, how this looks, the colors, the icons, the size of the text and everything affects our user experience. So assuming the explore best pictures is very little, how are you going to read? Well, if you have your, let's use this one. If our icons are very little in this design, how are users going to read? If the let's learn something new text was not very visible, how are you going to read? So this effect, that's what he's trying to say here. So the effects of the furniture and the stuff in your room, that is the UI, affects your experience. So if you don't have good colors, if you don't use the right size of fonts, the right size of icons, if you use the wrong size, if you use the wrong fonts, the wrong icons and all that, it's going to affect your user experience. You get it? Now, the last person says UI takes care of how the interface reflects the brand. User experience design is the process of creating products, systems or services that provides meaningful and relevant experiences to the users. So I'm assuming after reading this, most of you already understand what UI and UX is. But if you are still confused, don't worry. I explain it in just simple terms. So UI is the look for a product, being a website or an application or like anything, and the feeling or the satisfaction you get using that product is what we call the user experience. Now let's break this down. What is UI? So let's take some of my designs here. So let's see. Let's take this website. So this is user interface. The pictures, the text, the buttons, the logo, the color, the shape, all this thing comes together to form the user interface. Like the name says, user interface. So user interface, UI design. So this is what we call user interface design. Let's take a mobile application. If we take this design over here, sorry, this is a video. If we take this design over here, we have on the first screen here, we'll have a picture vegetables, we have our text, we have our circular icon to demonstrate where you've gotten to a body screen, and then press to go to the next screen. On the second screen here, we have our profile picture, we have our images, we have our text, our price, and our icons, the colors of our button, the button size, the font size. All these things form our user interface. So what will be the user experience of it? What will be the user experience of this thing? Like, if we say, okay, now you showed us what UI is, now what is the user experience? So let's do a simple exercise. Just think of the last application you used. It can be WhatsApp, it can be Facebook, it can be Twitter, it can be Instagram, it can be anything. Just think of it and answer these few questions. Was the app easy to navigate? Was it easy to use? Did the app do what is intended? Did it perform its function well? Did it do what is intended to do well? There are a lot of questions we can ask, pertaining to this thing, but let's just go with these few questions. So yeah, if you can say yes to was easy to use, was easy to navigate, and it did what it was supposed to do, or if you can say yes to these few questions, then I can say yeah, we have a good user experience. A bad example of a bad user experience would be, application giving you a headache. Assuming you want to do something on an application and it just keeps, confusing you. Let's say the icons are confusing. You press this icon and it's not what you wanted to see, but then you get me, those kind of things. Let's say your font size is very little. It's going to be very frustrating. If the colors are very bad, if the contrast is bad, the user experience is going to be very, very bad. And UX is kind of focused on the user and solving their problem. You get it? That's the main purpose of user experience. So it's trying to make things very easy for the user and usable and useful, accessible. That's what UX is trying to do here. So if we have two different applications and let's say they do the same thing, and for one application you take 3 steps to complete what you want to do, but then on the other application you take about 7-8 steps, you can tell which one is good, right? You can tell which one is good. Everyone is going to go for the one with 3 steps because nobody likes stress. So that's where UX, user experience, comes in. Alright, so now what do they do? What a UX designer, what am I going to do? You're going to do user research, you're going to do wireframe, you're going to do prototype, and a lot. I'm not really into the UX side, I'm more into the user interface side. So as a UI designer, you are more focused on the look and feel of a product. UI prototyping. So the look and feel of a product is what I showed you guys, how this product looks like. The last application you use, how does it feel? How does it look? Like the colors, the icons, the images, those are the look and feel. And the UI prototyping is more like interactivity, if I'm not mistaken. We can check Dribble. Let me see. We can check Dribble. Okay, this one will take a while. So the prototyping, that's the interactivity. I think I have a post here about that. So it's how. So this is the UI prototype. You get it. That's basically the UI prototype. We'll learn all this. Now, as a UI designer, what are the things you need to understand? So you need to understand design elements. Design elements like color, shapes, line, forms, texture, and space, right? You also have to understand design principles like unity, balance, harmony, contrast, scale, repetition. If I left something out, you can put it in the comments. You also need to understand UI patterns and typography. There's a lot. Now you'll be wondering, where to start from as a UX designer or a UI designer, or even both. You'll be wondering, will I like to do UX? Will I like to do UI? Or will I want to combine both? And that decision is a very tough decision that you will need to decide for yourself. And I'll be leaving a lot of articles in the description that explains everything I've said into detail. Explains it very well. so that you know, they tell you the qualities, what is expected of a UX designer, what is expected of a UI designer, so that you can know and understand everything before you even take the step to pursuing this career. And you can see that I've spoke about UI design a lot. More focus was based on the UI design, because this channel we're going to focus on user interface design a lot. But we'll be learning how to create this kind of things, learn how to create this kind of interfaces, learn how to create this kind of interfaces. When it comes to UI design, you can use tools like Figma. I've opened them here. You can use tools like Figma, and Figma is a cloud-based software, so you can just open it from your browser and then go. They have a free plan for up to 2 editors and 3 projects, 30-day version history, unlimited cloud storage, and unlimited free viewers. 30-day version history is like, how do I explain it? Like the number of drafts or project that's going to be displayed up to 30, right? We also have Adobe XD. It's also very good. Adobe XD is kind of, you can use Figma on both, because it's cloud-based. You can use it on anything, even on your phone. But I don't think you can design on your phone, but you can open it on your phone. We have Adobe XD for both Mac and then Windows, which I think also has a free version. We have Sketch for MacBook users. That's not loading. Right. Let's go back to the Sketch. We have Sketch for MacBook users. We have InVision, which I think is for both Mac and Windows. So for UI design, we have this. We have a lot. We have Principle. All this. We have what else? A lot. The list goes on and on. But we'll be focusing on Figma and Adobe XD. We'll be sharing tips and resources here, and I'll be learning from you as well. I'll be learning from all of you as well. Alright, I think that'll be it for today. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, hit the thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you think you and UX designers. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Send me a mail. You can contact me anywhere. These are my contact details. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. See you in my next video, where we start to learn how to use these tools to design. Bye.